Hello. Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein and the mini-boss analysis, where today we have the Raging Noblewoman. And the interesting thing about her is that she has crush damage only. And you can see just how thick she is, and so that would kind of put you off at the first outset that she's definitely doing crush damage, because she'll sit on you and crush you. But in that regard, she only does crush damage, and so the Noble Silver has the highest crush resist in the game, and so this is your crush resist that you want to go for when you go against her, because this will keep you nice and safe most of the time. And she also does that giant blood explosion, which is kind of like Elder Contract or something, but it's on her own person. It's like a giant explosion, kind of like a Cloak of Winter, only it's blood crush. And so if you don't have a very high blood resist value or a crush value, you will be destroyed by that attack. You could also go for the Dawnspear, and this has a very high blood value, but it has a reduced crush value, so you can see that here. And if you're going for something like Elemental Wall and Blood Guard, you can kind of negate that blood explosion that she goes for. But you definitely want to be guarding on crush. So all your weapons, you will want the crush value to be as high as possible here when you are attacking her. Now, this is one of the most annoying fights because of the dogs, so Thunderbolt Impact comes in super handy here. But as you're defending all of her crush, she also takes reduced crush damage as well. So she gives crush and she reduces your crush. So don't be doing crush versus her ever at all. So she does. So let's go over the weaknesses here. So she does have a 0% resist to slash, which is great. So anything slashing, you'll get full damage value. She has a 25% resist to crush, and she has a minus 10% to pierce, which is great. So if you're doing anything pierce versus her, you will do exceptionally well. Because if you pair up with Reaper and do anything that way, you'll be getting a 40% damage increase just from Reaper on your next attack. If you're doing gifts only, then you will be getting a 40% increase to your all your Pierce gifts just out the gate for free. So definitely want to be doing Pierce versus her. For elements, the blood resist is 40%, which is extremely high. So if you're going for something like Radiant Barrel, you automatically start out at 60% of the full damage capacity. Now you can kind of bring that back a little bit with Merciless Reaper, but it's still in your best interest to stay away from Pierce Blood in that regard, just because of that huge 40% resist. She has a 20% ice and fire resist each, so definitely don't want to be doing those, because if you're going for the basic element buffs here, these are 20% increase, and then she has a 20% decrease, and so these come out as a wash, and you don't want to be going for ice or fire here. Now again, blood weapon, you'll increase 20%, reduce 40%, so you'll come out at the end of it at minus 20% on your damage increase. However, for lightning, she has a minus 10% resist to lightning, so if you use lightning weapon, that'll be a 30% increase to your overall damage, 20% from the buff and minus 10% from her weakness to lightning. So Pierce Lightning is what you absolutely want to be going for. There happens to be a very unique gift right here in Queen's Ribcage, being Twilight, as this is all about Pierce Lightning. We also have, as far as gifts go, we also have Lightning Barrage, we have Lightning Spike. These are great gifts for going against her, however they are light values, so you have to be doing you have to have your light gifts overall. You can also go for Sonic Arrow, oddly enough, because you get that 40% increase to your damage um, just from the fact that she's weak to Pierce. And so if you're using Merciless Reaper, you get that 40% increase for free, so you can actually do some pretty decent damage with Sonic Arrow versus her overall. Let's see, you have Fourfold Verdict, which is a very, very good one versus her because it's Pierce Lightning. And then as far as the rest of it goes, you can go for Ember Reversal, but you're going to take that 20% damage hit just because it's fire. But then you'll get, if you're using Reaper, you'll get that 40% increase because it's also Pierce. So yeah, you want to go for Fourfold Verdict or Twilight or Lightning Barrage or Lightning Spike, and those will do you very nicely. As we get into the fight here with her, the best way to get rid of the dogs here is to jump up in the air and destroy them with Thunderbolt Impact. So that is what we are going to do. Now, she does hair on max difficulty have around 22,000, around 22,800 or so HP, something like that. It's a little bit less, but it's in that ballpark and in that neighborhood. So let's go ahead and hop on into the fight here, get rid of these dogs. Okay, and now we have just her to fight. Okay, and for her damage value, remember we have 357 on our strike. Oops, and you can see there we took about half damage because we have really, really good crush resist, remember, on the Noble Silver. And remember we do 642 on our charge attack here, so 481. That is the 75%, 25% reduction, 75% of full value damage there. And on Pierce we have a 10% increase to our damage, 986. Remember we do a 905, and there we are able to get a free 91 extra damage on our value. So let's check out her element or status effects here. Okay, and let's go, and you'll see that they all kind of don't build at the same rate. Slow builds at the fastest rate. Venom and Inhibit build at the medium rate, and Stun builds at the slowest rate. And the cool thing is that she does, there's the blood attack. She does do slow very easily, but then all of her attack timings are significantly off, so you will have to be very, very cognizant of when those attack timings come out, because otherwise you will kind of be off your game because you won't actually understand when those are coming out. So you can see there, Venom and Inhibit, even though they build at the same rate, they do not decay at the same rate. So that is very, very important to know, because if you're going for Inhibit, you can literally get her inhibited all the time if you need to. The reason being is that the only gift that she does have is if you are too close and you kind of stand around in these areas, and she goes for that blood explosion, and that would be the only thing that you can inhibit out of her for her not to do. But the rest of the time, as you see, she has no ranged attacks. She has no nothing at a distance. So if you're doing charge attacks here on a bayonet, kind of at a distance, you can literally do things like that at a distance. Or if you're going for some of the shots at a distance here, you can shoot her during that slow walk. As you saw there, she has a significant 40, I believe it's a 40%, 45% damage reduction phase while she's slow walking, edge walking across the area here. And she does have the run, so that run is kind of whatever. But as you see there, pretty easy, pretty simple boss. There's nothing really incredible about her, and there's nothing really stunning or shocking to understand as you get into the fight. And as she'll do that, we can just sit here and shoot her down. So pretty easy boss, mini boss here, and nothing too significant. So just remember to get your crush damage resistance as high as possible, and you should be good to go. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that with the Raging Noblewoman here, and we'll see you again in another video probably tomorrow. So we'll see you then.